I think it's pretty safe to say that by far, one of the most anticipated aspects of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker has all to do with the return of Darth Sidious / Emperor Palpatine ever since we heard his laughter in the teaser trailer that made its debut over at Star Wars Celebration. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. So, what's really great about Episode 9 is that we do know that this movie really is going to have a lot of revelations connected to the sequel trilogy characters as well as the legacy characters. As far as the sequel characters goes, that's of course Kylo and Rey, and the legacy ones being of course of Luke and Palpatine and a whole lot more. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically, a description of both Kylo Ren and Rey in a standoff against the Dark Acolyte, also known as Vance, who holds a connection to the spirit of Sidious. It said that one of the sequences involves a moment in which the Dark Acolyte's mind begins to get taken over by Palpatine's consciousness, where he begins to age slightly and sound more like Palpatine / Sidious. It said that this is when Palpatine himself begins to lecture both Kylo and Rey, where one of the scenes involves Palpatine using the Force Freeze technique against both Kylo Ren and Rey, where Palpatine reveals to Rey that he has been watching over her since she was on Jakku, and that it was he who created the dark presence that lies dormant within Rey. It's described that Palpatine also reveals to Rey that Sidious had given Rey certain powers over the years, and saw her potential, and that she should have killed Kylo Ren to fully embrace the dark side of the Force. The sequence is described to be very dark, where Rey is in shock and in a state of confusion, where Palpatine eventually moves over to Kylo and begins to give him a lecture about his grandfather, Darth Vader. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, we do know that Episode 9 is going to have a lot of twists and turns just like this, that's going to make us open our eyes and want to watch The Force Awakens in a different light, as well as perhaps The Last Jedi and all the other 8 Star Wars movies together. So what I like about this in particular is that it was Palpatine who created the dark presence within Rey. You guys may note that in The Last Jedi, Luke Skywalker recognizes this, that she didn't even try to stop herself when she was connected to the darkness within the mirror cave. Now, Luke was a little shocked by that, and not only that, Rey has been feeling this disturbance, and she didn't really know what to do with it. That's why she was seeking out Luke Skywalker. So, what I like about this is that this is Palpatine revealing to Rey that not only was he able to create the darkness that lies dormant within her, he was also watching over Rey since she was on the world of Jakku, and also gave her certain powers that she could have used to kill Kylo Ren and to fully embrace the dark side of the Force. Hence, I think that this really sheds more light on The Force Awakens novelization, where Rey is said to hear a voice that says, "Kill him," when she is fighting Kylo Ren. That most likely now was indeed Palpatine himself, since in Episode 9, Palpatine is said to reveal to Rey that she should have killed Kylo Ren in the past, and fully embraced the dark side of the Force through the powers that he has given her. Is it possible that some of these powers that Palpatine gave Rey were seen in The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi? Or are these powers that will only be seen in Episode 9? That's a big question open on the table. So, the other piece that I do want to go over is how eventually this all shifts to a segment in which Palpatine gives a lecture to Kylo Ren about his grandfather, Darth Vader. So you can really see what they're trying to do here. They're really trying to make Palpatine this puppet master of the entire Skywalker saga between Anakin, Luke, and even Kylo and Rey. And to me, I think it's rather impressive. I think it's excellent. Some people would view it as desperate by Disney and Lucasfilm, which is fine. It may be desperate to a certain extent to bring back Palpatine, but in my eyes, I think it just fits directly in with the narrative of the Skywalker saga being connected all together, all around, and Episode 9 basically being the culmination of it all. Bringing Palpatine back into the equation here makes a lot of sense. So, with that being said, the other piece that I do want to go over is that before all of this starts, the Dark Acolyte is said to be a normal new villain, also known as Vance, where he eventually is taken over by Palpatine's consciousness through the spirit of Sidious that literally changes his appearance. He begins to age slightly because of the dark side energy, as well as his voice begins to change as well to sound more like Emperor Palpatine. Now that most likely is where Ian McDiarmid comes into play here in his role for The Rise of Skywalker. From what it seems, at least in physical form, he's not going to be seen as the regular Palpatine that we all know and love from, of course, the prequels and the originals, but rather a voice and somewhat, of a resemblance of the original Palpatine through the face of the Dark Acolyte. So it's going to be very interesting to see exactly how the makeup and how the CGI is going to come into fruition for this new character known as Vance / the Dark Acolyte in Episode 9. So yeah, guys, anyways, let me know what you think about all this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.